Hi, I am Laura, a single mom that just kind of felt the need to address the fear that is happening in society today. With the corona pandemic going on, the toilet paper shortage going on, various supplies are running low, and fear is mounting across families everywhere, across communities, states, countries, continents. Um, Even the church community is, experiencing unprecedented levels of stress and anxiety. Those of us who are uh, regular churchgoers and followers of Jesus are stunned that for the first time ever we cannot meet together in groups. Um, But this is just really not about how this is affecting the church. This is about how it's affecting society and what people are counting on to get them through this. Very, very briefly, um, I'm a single mom. I have 3 kids. I have a 20-year-old daughter, and I have twin 12-year-old boys, and um, I'm not, in a great place economically. I've had a really, really rough couple of years economically. I've had a divorce of a really toxic, from a really toxic marriage that was damaging to me to the extreme, and had to quickly escape that situation. I haven't recovered financially. I probably have not recovered completely emotionally. And I feel like a lot of us have undone pieces of our lives, broken places in our lives that are not healed, that are not whole in our own viewpoints. So when something comes into our lives, like a pandemic, like a shortage of basic supplies, fear of illness, educational resources pulled out from under us, isolation, community taken, we have a tendency to just feel lost, floundering, because what are we going to hold on to? Because not only was our sense of security when things were normal, pre-coronavirus, a bit shaky, nobody around us has that solid foundation and what we would perceive as wholeness. So it kind of leads to a sense of not feeling like you have anybody else you can lean on for stability, that there are not even organizations and resources out there right now to help anybody that's dealing with situations that are additional to the coronavirus scare. And I want to address the fact that I am not fearful and why. I have 4 rolls of toilet paper, but I know people that have it if I really desperately need to run to somebody's house and get some. I have a reasonable amount of food, but my financial situation is not great. I can survive for a while, but maybe a few weeks, but not much beyond that. I don't have savings. An economic hit is gonna definitely impact my ability to take care of my family. I don't have full control over my children's environment, their exposure to the public. I have to bring them to their father each weekend, and it was not, a good situation with us, the split. So, I've got a lot of uncertain things. I have a daughter that is up in a part of the country that is experiencing, at this point, a greater number of cases. And all of these things, could so easily lead me to anxiety and being completely stressed out and, what am I going to do? What is my family going to do? Are my kids going to be okay? And what's going to happen in our country? What's going to happen in our world? Is anything ever going to be the same? I'd say probably things will never be the same. But the reason that I am not afraid is because my foundation is not in this world. My belief and my sense of security are not in this world. They are not in my financial security, in my relationships, in my family, in my country, my government, my health. None of those things provide permanent security and absolute permanence of a foundation that you can just stand on solidly and know that nothing's going to shake it. So briefly, my testimony, I found Jesus. Really, Jesus found me slightly over 3 years ago, or about 3 years ago. I had been raised as a Christian, but I had a very traumatic childhood that left me very, very damaged emotionally. And I had run away from Jesus for decades, like the vast majority of my life. So I was 45 by the time Jesus found me, and I had been going through enormous emotional difficulties. I had entered into an abusive relationship that I was having difficulty getting out of. I wasn't able to see the damage it was causing. I suffered from massive bouts of depression and anxiety, all kinds of things that go along with what is considered to be, if you want to label it, I don't really like to label things, complex PTSD from all the trauma that I had experienced as a child. And it just really, it screwed up my brain and my emotional ability to, my emotional IQ. It messed up my ability to deal with life, to make good decisions. And I spent the better part of 3 decades clinically depressed, without any doubt. A couple of suicide attempts, and about 3 years ago I was considering another one. I lived in a place with a wooded area behind it, and I was unhappy on every level, but more than anything I felt like, because I could not seem to heal emotionally, that I was a horrible example for my children. I wasn't showing them the love that they needed. I wasn't showing them the example that they needed. That all they were seeing was all these emotional problems. They were seeing these up and down mood states of their mom. There was a time period for a couple years there that I was drinking alcoholically as well. They were seeing just upset and instability in the home, a lot of toxicity, and I mistakenly thought that there was not a way out for me. I mistakenly thought that my children would be better off if they were not having to continue to witness my emotional instability on top of everything else they had to deal with in this life. So, not just from emotional pain, and I think this is common for people who are really, really depressed. I felt I was helping my family by taking it out of this life. So I remember wandering through the woods and actually looking for a place where I could take myself out, and that my body wouldn't be found for a while, or that maybe it would be, consumed by animals, or I don't know. I was looking for a way to not be discovered by somebody that I love. And in the midst of that, I was asking God if there was any other alternative. I didn't know if I even believed in God at that time anymore. I didn't know if I did believe in God, if I believed that he was a loving God. But I was just that desperate. I was so desperate that I knew my only other option was going to be if there was a God that was willing to reach me and heal me and help me. So I don't remember how I got back to my master bedroom after my walk in the woods, but I did. And I remember just dropping to my knees and asking God, if there's any other way besides this, I need you to show me. I need you to show me. So God spoke to me that he was going to heal me from depression and anxiety and trauma and everything that I was dealing from. And the reason he was going to heal me was so that I could help others to find him and he could heal them too. I wrote down reasons to live on an index card in that time of my life, and I still have it somewhere. And the top reason to live was find a way to recover from this so that I can help others to recover. And I found it. It found me. God found me. And the last 3 years has been intense, insane in a lot of ways. It's truly unbelievable, a lot of the things that have happened in my life, that I've survived them. Not just emotionally, but legitimately, that I physically survived. And my children, that we had the threat of homelessness. We had the threat of, not being physically safe. We had enormous amounts of isolation, long-term financial strife, lots of persecution from people that, didn't even believe what had been, going on in my relationship and why I needed to escape swiftly from that situation. So I would not have survived any of that if I was not clinging on to the one and only thing that could root me and ground me and show me security beyond anything in this world, and that is God. Jesus showed me that no matter what I go through, homelessness, loss, fear, abandonment, persecution, all of those things have happened to me on a grand scale in the past 3 years. And I have not only survived it, but grown through it massively, because I know without any doubt that my security is in my salvation through Jesus. I believe 100% that Jesus is the Son of God, and that he's our only way to be saved from the mess of this world. I believe that the mess in this world came from a major upset in God's plans to create these children and this beautiful place for us to live in. And a major upset happened at the very beginning of time that kept it all from working out according to this perfect plan that God had. And now we have all these issues and all these broken people and all these messed up motivations and goals and all of this dysfunction, that the only source of healing and recovery from it all is God. And I know that 100% with everything that I am. So because I've been through everything I've been through in the past 3 years, and my foundation and my faith is so strong, running out of toilet paper is just inconsequential to me. And I don't mean don't worry about it. Don't go find toilet paper. I'm just saying, what are you basing your sense of security on? What are you believing is going to hold you up through the rest of this life and beyond. Because if it's anything that can run out, like toilet paper, money, relationships, your house, your economic status, even your own abilities and sanity, your health, all of that can run out just like a roll of toilet paper. The only solid foundation that we have to stand on as a people during this pandemic, which will change our lives forever, no doubt, is God. And I felt I really needed to share that, not only because I believe that God saved me from my own dysfunction in order to share this and help other people to see that He is truly the only way. But just because I don't think it's necessary to be so afraid. If you have a solid foundation in God, our Creator, our Father, the one who has made every effort to right all of the wrongs that have disrupted His perfect creation, to the point of sending Jesus to be persecuted and ridiculed and tortured and crucified for the same people who were inflicting all of these things upon Him in order to save all of them, all of us. There's just nothing else that you need. And the interesting thing is, when I start feeling a little bit of anxiety coming up, about the coronavirus, I'm not going to say that doesn't happen. There are moments where I see a news story, or I see something on Facebook, or somebody, tells me something going on in their town, and I get, some anxiety. I start thinking, okay, what can I do, or who can I go to give me that sense of comfort and security? And it's never anything but God. It's not even a person, and I'm not downplaying relationships, but no person can give you the stability and the security of God, because only God is permanent. So if you are looking for a sense of security and calm during this storm, I'm telling you, God has gotten me through so much. And I was 45 years old when He found me. It's never too late. I'm not going to say it's an easy journey when you have to learn to trust God, and when He's healing you, going through layer and layer and layer of all the dysfunction that you're covered in when you find Him at a later age. But it's totally possible. Not only is it possible, it's really the only way to find a solid foundation in this world. So I'm just putting out there that, what else do you have? And maybe that's one reason this is happening in this world. So we'll see that. So that we'll open our eyes to the fact that all we really have to count on is God. And if you don't believe in that, well then, good luck finding more toilet paper. I'm not trying to be sarcastic, but I hope this reaches somebody. And I'm praying for everybody that doesn't know Him to find God during this. And I'm praying that that is the good that will come from this global pandemic. And God loves you. And He just wants you to come to Him during this and always. In Jesus' name, I pray that you will. Thanks.